Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. 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 Good. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Good. Good. Okay.
Hello. Drew. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. What happened? Testing, testing.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2.
Hello. How are you? Good, how are you? This is Pasha. You met him before. In the boardroom, I believe. Yeah, so far. Yeah, just took him out of the car. Poor baby was sitting in the air conditioning. Yeah. He's an old man. He's gonna be 10 next month. He had a rough day yesterday. My wife cooked stuff in the crock pot, and it beeps, and he hates the beep, so he was having a heart attack all day. And then at night, before we went to bed, a couple fireworks for Memorial Day. So he was having a heart attack all day. It's so funny though, the crock pot thing is, you can't figure out what it is, but yeah, he's gone pretty soon. Yeah, my first one we had when he was 14. Thank you. He doesn't like these cops. They're shady. Fight more of our guys than this. Really? They know better not to go near them. Right, Bosh? He's just protective of me when he's on his leash. He doesn't let anybody go near me. Just about. He's like 88. Yep. When I had my retired dog and I had him, and we had a 7-pound Chihuahua, and nobody went near the Chihuahua.
That's what I got.
The little dogs rule the roost.
All right, thank you for being here.
Okay, have a good one.
I have a Shih Tzu. They're little, but they think they're just
Testing 1 2 3. Testing, testing, testing. You're good?
Test 1 2. Test 1 2 3 4 5. Test 1 2. Test 1 2 3 4 5. Test 1 2. You good? Test 1 2 1 2. Test.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. 1 2 3 4. Testing. 1 2 3 4. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Test 1, 2, 3. Are we good? Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, test. Test. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test. Testing. Are we good? We're okay? Cool.
Whatever you say.
Thanks. This seat, you're of course kicking things off,
Okay.
but that'll be your seat.
So you want me to just start?
Yeah, we'll get everybody. We'll get
Beautiful day. It's only going to get better from here on in.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming out to Long Branch. If I could, everyone, kind of get into their spots, we'll get started with our program. Okay.
So, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here for this important announcement. I'd like to welcome to Long Branch DOT Commissioner Diane Gutierrez Scacchetti, New Jersey Transit President and CEO Mr. Kevin Corbett. We also have with us Congressman Frank Pallone, Senator Vin Gopal, and Assemblyman Eric Hotaling. From the city, I'd like to acknowledge our Council Vice President, Dr. Mary Jane Selly, and from the city we also have Business Administrator George Jackson, Communications Director Lindsay DeAngelis, and our engineer who's responsible for a lot of what's going on here, Laura Newman. I first want to thank the Commissioner for everything you've done for our Long Branch train station. Last summer, station improvements included resurfacing the parking lot, which you see here, upgrading the pedestrian tunnel, which is behind us, and repainting the station and platform. And this spring, we were awarded additional state funding to restore and beautify 3rd Avenue through a streetscape project behind you that will include resurfacing the roadway, new curbs, sidewalks, the decorative lighting fixtures, and some beautiful landscaping. Commissioner, the major improvements that you've made here is revitalizing and transforming this area into a vibrant, attractive, pedestrian-friendly neighborhood where people can live, work, and shop, and it really looks great, and I thank you so much, and we thank you so much. So we're looking toward the future with additional plans that include an intermodal station that will bring buses, trolleys, electric charging stations, and a pedestrian bridge from the west into the railroad depot here. And I also want to thank the Commissioner and Mr. Corbett for the restoration of critical services both here and around the state. I've commuted to New York City for many years, and Long Branch serves as a major hub between Bayhead and New York City. So the restoration of service will be much appreciated by travelers. We have a lot of visitors here, obviously, in the city, and our commuters alike. I'd also like to thank Congressman Pallone and Senator Gopal, both residents of our city here, Assemblyman Eric Hotaling, always here as well, and of course New Jersey Transit for your commitment to upgrading Transit Village and your support of our community. And with that, I'd like to introduce the Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner.
Good morning. I want to thank Mayor Pallone for hosting this event here in Long Branch, his hometown. One of the best parts of my job is helping communities like Long Branch create the vision for their future. And foundational to that vision is a transportation system that is responsive to the town's needs. Long Branch has a vision for its community, and a good part of it centers around this train station, a vision that serves the multimodal needs of its residents. And recent improvements you see around the station are only the beginning. We at New Jersey Department of Transportation and New Jersey Transit look forward to working with Long Branch to make that vision a reality. As a part of that effort, NJDOT was excited to provide a Transit Village grant along with other local grants for the improvement work that you see here around the train station and on 3rd Avenue. I have to say, driving in, it was exciting for me to see the money actually at work. And it's a real compliment to the mayor and to council for making certain that when they receive these grants, that money is put right into the ground where it belongs. These grant programs are essential to so many towns in New Jersey, and I'm grateful to Governor Murphy and the legislature for their continued support of our transportation grant programs. I encourage Long Branch to continue to work with NJDOT's Local Aid and Economic Development Office to see how we can continue to support the advancement of Long Branch's vision. I must shout out a word of appreciation to Congressman Pallone for his tireless efforts in Washington, D.C. on behalf of all New Jerseyans, especially on matters of infrastructure investment. Infrastructure is not just roads and bridges. It is water and broadband. It is sustainable and reliable energy. We all use all of those things as part of our transportation network, so never let it be said that infrastructure only is pavement and concrete. We are grateful for his leadership on the House Energy and Commerce Committee. His unwavering commitment is critical to ensuring a healthy and sustainable future for New Jersey. So often when we gather at these events, we talk about these projects at the macro level, what our local and state investments mean to the masses. But what is just as significant is what these investments mean to those who live, work, and play in communities like Long Branch. People are excited about having more trains running on the weekends this summer between here and Bayhead. How do I know that? Well, Joseph Webb can tell you. Joseph is a ticket agent here at the Long Branch station. He is a self-admitted train geek who's been with New Jersey Transit for a year and loves it. As soon as the weather got warm, Joseph said the crowd started showing up on the platform to use the Bayhead shuttle to go to the beach. Joseph has no idea what the most popular beach stop will be on the train this summer, but he expects to see waves of passengers this season all aboard for a journey to sun, sand, and surf. The Bayhead shuttle train also stops at Bradley Beach. That's where you can grab the Sunshine Sandwich at the Back in Time Cafe, which is operated out of the train station for 24 years. Cafe owner Renee Van Buren says that over the years, many of her customers who are regular commuters have evolved from patrons to friends, and they are all one big New Jersey Transit family. Rini knows that more train service will be a shot in the arm for local businesses and make a laid-back travel in flip-flops and sun hats possibly all summer long. Shannon Benedetto, who worked for the Breakers on the Ocean Hotel in Spring Lake for 18 years, is thrilled that more trains have been added to the summer schedule to bring even more visitors. She says that when her guests take the train, it means less traffic congestion for the town. Having a railroad stop makes their beach resort that much more accessible. When visitors get off the train on a Saturday or Sunday in Point Pleasant, Joe Paldino says a lot of them walk right into his beach bagel trattoria. Joe said it's a bagel in the morning, sandwiches in the afternoon, and pizza at night. And at the end of a long day working a masonry job in Long Branch, Travis Clark gets off the train in Bayhead. The salt air revives him as he steps onto the platform, listening to jazz in his iPods, I don't know what these things are called. Don't stick them in your ear, that's all I'm going to say. It's very unhealthy. And watch the sky for a promise of sunset. Travis is glad there'll be more trains going back and forth between Long Branch and Bayhead, especially when he has to work weekends. It's more convenient for everyone, whether you're a worker or a tourist. And 1 block off the beach, a surf shop with the big Aloha sign on the door is ready for summer. Eric Bayer has run the Beach House Classic Board Shop for 25 years and was the head of the Business Association in Bayhead for a decade. Eric is excited that NJ Transit has 12 trains running on the Bayhead shuttle on summer weekends. He shared his excitement with us. It's good for business, it's good for travelers, it's good for the environment. Less cars make our town even more walkable. And what's the single point of all that? It's the station behind me, the Long Branch station. New Jersey Transit and New Jersey DOT have committed both to the congressman and the mayor that we will continue to invest in a town that is growing, that is seeing a vibrant revitalization, and we want to be part of it along with you. And we hope that soon we will be able to come back and break ground for many of the things that are part of Long Branch's much larger vision. But what is at the heart of all we have to look forward to this summer? It's New Jersey's measured and successful management of the coronavirus. I know it was tough. It was a tough year on everyone, no doubt about it. But with continued vigilance and encouraging our friends and family to get vaccinated, New Jersey has so much to look forward to. Summer days, picnics and family celebrations, baseball games, and so much more. So stay healthy, New Jersey. Encourage those around you to be vaccinated. Get vaccinated if you're not. My appointment is Friday at I think that's an endorsement. My vaccine appointment is Friday at 4 p.m. I'm looking forward to it, and it will mean for us the continued celebration, not just through the summer, but through all year long. And it is now my pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of New Jersey Transit, Kevin Corbett.
Thank you, Diane, and really the commissioner has been great for support and leadership as we've tried the last few years to really turn things around in New Jersey Transit, and can't thank her enough for her support over the last 3+ years. Certainly, I'd like to echo the thanks for Congressman Pallone. Really appreciate you and your staff being there for us, no matter what the issue, and doing a fantastic job, as Diane referred to. And of course, you keep good company up here with having our favorite mayor here, John Pallone. And John, thanks for everything. Certainly, as we were saying earlier, just coming down and seeing the streetscape changing now. It really looks like a main street with the new light fixtures, the plantings going in. It really is going to be a whole different vibe. And, as Diane said, it really does help cement this as being a real attractive destination. So appreciate all that you do in working with our office. And, of course, State Senator Vin Gopal. Vin has been on the transportation issue and for transit from day one, have been there for us, and really appreciate everything he and his staff have done. From my aspect on New Jersey Transit, we really are proud to announce, as Diane referred to, a significant set of rail schedule enhancements to provide our customers with greater frequency and travel options as we emerge from the pandemic. Taken together, these enhancements include the restoration of nearly 60 trains just in time for summer, and as we see steadily rising, increasing ridership coming back to the system. So the headline today is the major improvements coming to the New Jersey coastline, which is obviously critical, particularly as a junction like Long Branch. And beginning on June 6th, New Jersey Transit will add 12 trains to the coastline, providing 6 additional round trips between Bay Head and this station, Long Branch, for all our customers looking to really get back to the beach this summer. These train enhancements, along with all the other work that Mayor Pallone is doing to improve the streetscapes around Long Branch, really benefit every customer who travels to and from the station. The additional train service will also pump life into communities up and down the coastline, making it much easier for customers to go where they want to be going, and for the economic activity that Diane referred to, that happens at all the stations that are impacted. So aside for the improvements to the coastline, we'll also be restoring full weekend train service for our Gladstone branch with the reinstatement of 39 trains, ending the substitute busing on that line that we've been doing on the weekends. And we're restoring 4 trains to and from Penn Station to New York on our Northeast Corridor line. We'll also be restoring 3 trains on our Raritan Valley line to and from Newark Penn Station, and implementing many more improvements throughout our rail network. I would note that it wouldn't be here today without a full roster of locomotive engineers. I know many of you followed how depleted those ranks were, and you can't run trains if you don't have engineers. And finally, we've been able, after 3 years of really hard work and a long training program, to be able to now have achieved just about 6 weeks ago. Diane and I were with the governor for an event marking the achievement of a full roster that took aggressive training and hiring to get to a full roster of engineers. So we'll have both the trains and the engineers to operate them. So it's a very different field coming into this summer than some of the past years. I would say that all these improvements are just part of a whole list of comprehensive efforts that we've been preparing New Jersey Transit for the return of those customers who haven't been riding with us the last year. A lot of things on our app, efforts from whether it be VaxRide to our whole campaign that we've just recently launched, While You've Been Away, a public information campaign. And for those who haven't seen that, we'd really urge you to visit njtransit.com/progress to view a great video and a comprehensive list of the improvements we've made across the entire system over the last year or so. And I think it all just goes to show that New Jersey Transit is working harder than ever with a single focus of delivering our customers kinds of service that they really deserve and have long been waiting for. There's no doubt today New Jersey Transit is a safer, more reliable, and more customer-focused organization than ever. So with that, it gives me great pleasure to turn the floor over to a great friend and supporter, as I said, New Jersey's 6th Congressional District, and it's been, 17 full terms, Congressman? There's something like that, just a great record. It's now it's my pleasure to turn the podium over to the Congressman.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I always tell everybody, I don't usually say it to the press, though, that after so many years in Congress, you don't say how many years you've been in Congress, because people say, well, maybe you've been there too long. So I don't mention how many years it is, but that's okay. Let me just, let me first of all, and mostly really thank the Commissioner, Diane. Really, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're trying to do with federal dollars, but nothing you see so far has been as a result of the federal government. It's all been because of Diane and my brother. And of course the state legislature, because, ultimately the funds come from the state legislature as well. But I just have to repeat it. I know John mentioned what's happened here, but when the commissioner first came this morning and I talked to her, she said, wow, there's a lot going on here. And she wasn't just talking about the station, but most of it is as a result of her work in cooperation with the city. And so I'm just going to mention it again, because if you had been here a couple years ago, you wouldn't see really much of any of what you see now. I mean, first of all, last summer, the state, under Diane and New Jersey Transit's auspices, repainted the platform in these buildings. They put new lighting in the tunnel, which is underneath here. They resurfaced the entire parking lot with the new lines that you see. None of this was here before. And then this year, it's not even completed, with a grant from New Jersey Transit, I think 2 grants actually, Diane, and a match from the city. They did the streetscape, the new sidewalks, the new lamps. You don't even see the landscaping yet. That's to come. resurfacing of the street that's to come, the whole length on both sides. So it really has, you know, when Diane says a lot is going on here, it's truly the case. And as she mentioned, all of this is tremendous for bringing business to the area, because when you talked about Rini, Diane, in Bradley Beach, I mean, I don't like to compare, but it's a good comparison, right? In other words, what you see there is, you know, people getting off the train, going to her place, going to the bakeries and the coffee shops across the street, beautiful landscaping there with the park. And it creates a neighborhood, as the commissioner mentioned, a neighborhood atmosphere, if you will, that really didn't exist much before. And that is true. That's what's happening here. It's already happening. And you may not realize it because you know you don't see it, but since I go by here almost every day when I'm in town, I see the difference. And we're not even talking about the hospital and some of the other development that's taking place, just the neighborhood atmosphere that you described at Rini's place and in Bradley Beach. That's what's happening here. There's no question about it. But my role really is to talk about the federal government and what we can do next. And when I was talking to Diane this morning, she asked me about the status of this federal jobs or infrastructure initiative that President Biden and Kamala Harris, the vice president, talked about a month ago. And we're still hoping that that's going to become a reality. And that's not just the brick and mortar. It's also what I call infrastructure social programs. So the brick and mortar is important, and a big part of that is going to be money that would be used for places like the Long Branch train station, but not just here, all parts of the state. And in that respect, what we're talking about, again, because the idea of this jobs or infrastructure bill on the federal level is innovation, to try to redo our country's infrastructure, if you will, so we're competitive with the rest of the world and trying to create innovative things, particularly along the lines of addressing climate change and ways of getting around and doing things differently in the future. And so that's the idea here of this intermodal station, which would bring in the buses. You see, you had the train whistled as Diane, but now I got the bus. There's two of them. So as you can see, those buses park on 3rd Avenue, but the idea is to bring them into the train station. In other words, it would be like an intermodal area down here where the buses and trolleys and Ubers would come in, so they wouldn't be on the street, and there would also be an indoor waiting room, if you will, in inclement weather, because we're here in the summer, but obviously when it rains or during the winter you don't have that. And then along the business aspect, when Morris Avenue, which was the street over there where you enter the main entrance, I was actually on the city council then, Diane, and I didn't like the idea that they were going to build the platform over Morris Avenue, I got to be honest with you, but we finally went along with it, but it cuts off the business district on the other side. So on the other side there are restaurants, you can see the distillery over there, the green building, that are cut off because of the platform. And so the idea is to build a walkway, a pedestrian walkway over the platform to bring the west side, if you will, of the business district together. And Rini, that would even do more to tie in and get people to go from there to here and back and forth. That's the whole idea. So hopefully we can get federal funding for that as part of this infrastructure bill, which we're working very hard on with the president and the vice president and the Congress. And hopefully we'll see that, and then some of that money will come here as well. So thank you all, really. We really appreciate all that you're doing. But I also want to thank our two legislators that are here. I'm going to introduce now Vin Gopal as our state senator. He lives in Long Branch, and he's always looking out for the interests of the city, including this area. And Eric Hotelling, I don't know if Eric is still here. Assemblyman Hotelling was here before. He had to head out. But we have a very strong legislative delegation with Vin, Eric, and also Joanne Downey, who's also our assemblywoman. So with that, Vin, come on up. Oh, I forgot one thing. I told Vin, New Jersey Transit does all kinds of things, Diane, but I didn't know they provided sunglasses. And I saw these sunglasses. I don't have any sunglasses, so now I'm going to keep these sunglasses too as another reminder of you. All right.
Ready for summer.
Thank you, Congressman. It's great to be here, and this is a true testament to all these partners here. You know, we see so much in the press over the last 10, 20 years about what's going on over on the ocean side, on the waterfront side, and through the leadership of Mayor Pallone, Councilwoman Selly, they said that they really want to make one city here in Long Branch, and with the partnerships of the commissioner, who is literally here all the time working on behalf of the residents, and Director Corbett, his chief of staff, Justin Davis, every constituent issue we have, they're on top of it. And what's going to happen right here with all of the steps you just heard is that an entire area of the city, not just people coming in, but working class families that live all throughout here are going to get a number of public transportation options that they never had. These are incredible economic opportunities. And for people coming into the city, the number of businesses that are here, not just the restaurants and the shopping, but the brewery and the distillery, all these new businesses that have been coming the last couple of years on this end of town, what this is going to do here for the local economy is incredible. So honored to be part of this. Thanks to the commissioner, the director, the mayor, and the congressman. And I laughed. The congressman said about the terms in Congress, and whenever someone says to me, oh, they're always in Washington, I'm like, trust me, this guy is in Long Branch all the time. So that is not true for all members of Congress, and it's good to see that we have someone who cares so much about his district that he represents. So thank you, everyone, and this is a really big announcement, and it's going to have such an incredible impact, not just this year, but on the years ahead for not just the people that live here, but the people that are going to come here and be part of this economy. So thank you so much, Director.
Thank you, Senator. Again, I cannot think of a better way to be kicking off the start of our summer than to be here celebrating this today, and be really looking forward to after the last few years of really having to turn around New Jersey Transit, to be New Jersey Transit is fully ready to be back and welcome everyone back as we come out of the pandemic. It's really a great feeling to be here today. Again, really encourage everyone to visit our website, the njtransit.com/progress. That shows a whole range of things that we've done, everything from contactless, fare payments, et cetera. There's a long list of things. I think you've all heard many of it before, but really, if you go back to the website, you can really capture them and see the video as well. So with that, wish everyone just a safe and enjoyable summer. And at this time, I think we'll be prepared to take a few on-topic questions. Larry? Yeah, I think Larry will give you more details, as far as budgets and whatnot. We can get back to you on the details. It depends. Some of that's still in the planning stages, so we don't have a final estimate on the projects. And certainly, I know the one that is in that category, though, is near and dear, is for the congressman referred to as the pedestrian bridge over at the north end of the station. Brenda? Yeah, I'd be glad to. And it's funny, Rini and I were just talking about that before coming up, that you really see two sort of interesting data points. The last month, I think, with the governor, with the vaccination program, you look at where we see what New Jersey's really come out ahead of the pack as far as really getting those numbers down, the medical numbers down, where people are feeling safe to come back to the system. And we're really seeing that in the last 3-4 weeks. Ridership steadily coming back up. It's sort of like a Wall Street chart, where you see it go up and down, but we really see the trend going up. And the last few weeks on the rail ridership, still a long way to go, but it's been up over 35%. And you can remember, originally it was single digits and then was climbing into, 12, 15, 18%, that range. We're now, daily up above 30%. And what's really interesting, which, there may be a mixed opinion whether people really want to go back to 5 days a week commuting to the office. We'll see as offices start opening up this summer, and certainly come September. But what's interesting is people definitely want to get back and enjoy life. So on the weekends, what we're seeing is ridership at 40% and even 50% on some of the routes. So we really see people eager to get back, into particularly into the city. Where you don't have New York, where you don't have the offices open yet, but we really are seeing on the weekends ridership picking up, and Rini was just saying yesterday that there were about 100 people at Bradley Beach on the platform outside her place going back on, which is even sort of like a pre-COVID high. So we really see that ridership, and we're watching over the summer. Our from a fiscal perspective, our budget is 60% starting July 1 for the fiscal year coming up. We've budgeted 60% of ridership, but I'm optimistic we may see better than that as people really start coming back. Even taking us to go to see Yankee games, Larry. Yeah, Brenda. Very, very comfortable. Certainly, there's always issues. Trees come down. We have some weather trees on the line, or if there's a car fouling the tracks, or those kind of things, and occasionally mechanical issues. We still have an old fleet. We've purchased, as the 113 new multi-level trains that were now 2 years ago with the board, and those will be starting to be delivered in 2 years. But we still have some of the old 40-year-old equipment. So we're doing our best to maintain those, but they'll occasionally be mechanical. But as far as manpower, we are very comfortable. We have a full roster. We have a rail meeting. We have a meeting every morning at 7:30 in the morning. We go over all the issues for the day and a recap of the previous day. And every day now you're here. We have enough engineers, and we have that cushion for the summer coming in, so that there'll be. People are entitled to good summer vacations, so we're still working on backlog. We have another graduating class coming up next week. We have to make sure we keep that backlog as people retire. And we see new events also at MetLife Stadium. They've started now to advance opening some concerts, etc. And we're very excited about being able to provide full service for those kind of events. So we are ready, and barring any weather or those kind of issues, as far as the roster goes, we're in good shape. Everyone should really you'll see it if you look at our data. Yeah, Larry. Yes, we're looking at that. We're seeing how this goes and how the ridership goes, but that certainly is on the cards. We do a pick, summer pick and a fall pick, but we see ridership really picking up beyond what we have now with this, the restoration of these 60 trains that we're adding back in. If we see a need to do more, we certainly have flexibility even in the short term to add more trains. But then we'll look at the fall pick, see how the summer numbers go, and then that certainly is something we can be positively open to. If that's it, thanks so much for coming, and thanks everyone, and enjoy the summer.